So today I want to share. A interesting realization I had last night, late last night, maybe around 1 a.m. or so. I'm sitting on the ground, I'm laying on the ground. I'm answering back messages, coaching messages, and somebody was mentioning that it's kind of weird, but they feel a little depressed. Don't know why. Felt a little depressed, but they've been doing practice every single day, consistent meditations of 20 to 25 minutes in the morning and in the evening. And pops twice a day, barely missed any. And so, but they told me they were a little depressed. I was like, okay. But they said, but it's weird. It's weird depressed. There wasn't any, they're not angry about anything. They're not upset. They're not really bothered. There's really no problems. They're just kind of feeling almost like this lack of feeling. And as I'm reading it, I had this realization. And this realization was, I remember feeling that way as well. And it came to me. So when we're used to emotions constantly fluctuating, when we are in an emotional high is super happy, joyful, excited, enthusiastic. We feel our body a lot, right? You feel it when you're enthusiastic, when you're excited, right? You feel that energy. Just like the same way that when you're angry, you feel your body a lot. When you're really depressed, it's sad, you feel your body a lot. Your body's not just calm and just, at ease. No, your body's like pressure. It's like uncomfortable. You feel it a lot, just like the emotional high. So like the emotional high and the emotional low, basically, you both feel your body a lot. But this is also what we call like the emotional roller coaster. You're going up and you're going down. You're going up and you're going down. And I came to this realization that people are really used to feeling these two things. And if they weren't to feel these two things, and they were actually to get into the middle of this neutral state of not actually being emotional all the time. It's not that you don't have emotions. It comes, but then it's gone. So you spend more time in a neutral state. It's like this. You stay in a state, and then you fluctuate in emotion, you come back down. Fluctuate a little bit, and you come back to the center. Not you stay high, and then you drop down low, and then you go back to high, and you go back to low. Not like that. We stay in the middle with fluctuations. But I realized that, well, if somebody is always in the high and they're always in the low, when they get to the middle, it feels very weird. It's almost like they're not feeling because they're not supercharged with emotion on the high or the low. In neutral, there is no charge. The emotional charge is gone. We just feel totally at ease. But we are not constantly being stimulated with so much feeling. Not that we don't have the ability to feel, but we're not being stimulated with that feeling. We're not constantly being hit with so much feeling. Big difference, right? And I realized that if somebody doesn't know that in this non-emotional state, in this middle state, this neutral state, that you're not actually going to be feeling a whole bunch, if they don't know that, then they're going to think something is wrong. And if somebody judges that a high emotional state, excitement, joy, happiness, enthusiastic, the feeling of supercharged, alive, super motivated, super inspired. You see how positive all of these things sound, but yet they are all at a high emotion. But they sound so positive. Everybody goes, aim for it, aim for it. So then you get there and you go, wow, I feel so much. But we cannot maintain this. This is too much energy output. So what happens if you try to stay here? You will drop down. You will feel drained. You will feel tired. Have you guys ever experienced that? The simplest way to remember is think about your last social situation. Your social situation where you're, hey, yeah, how you doing? Oh, da, da, da. 2 hours in, wow, man. Oh yeah, hey, yeah. I'm good. Just chilling, just relaxing. Man. All right. Let me look at the clock. Got another hour to go. Man, I don't know if I can handle this. What is there to handle? What is there to handle? You're just being you, right? No, you're being you at a super high, blasting emotions constantly. But if you're to sit there and you're in a neutral state, you're not blasting all this energy constantly. So now you can last. You can last 16 hours, 18 hours. You talk and they don't talk. You smile, they don't smile. Just sitting there. You don't have to constantly try to be in this high state to appear to be so joyful and wonderful because you think this is good. You think this is what everybody says to do. So if we aren't that, we must not be doing well. And people will go, what's wrong with you? If you're in a neutral state, somebody will go, you okay? Yeah. Oh, okay. Yeah. You just seem kind of quiet. You just seem kind of like, like you're not having fun. Yeah, I'm fine. Oh, okay. When usually you're like, all excited. You don't look excited. You see? We've been trained to constantly be in emotions. And because we've been trained to do that, we don't even know, number one, how it feels like to be in a neutral state. Number two is when we are even there in a neutral state, we don't think it's good. We think we are low. We think something is wrong. We think, I need to be back in that high. I need to get back to that high. So this way I can be happy again. Because if I'm not in that high, something's wrong. I'm low then. So that was my realization. And I'm like, wow. And I remember personally being the same way. So when we are in this middle state, it will feel very different because you're not used to it. You're used to constantly being blasted with feeling super, super high or feeling super, super low, but constantly feeling. And now when you're in this neutral state, you're not being blasted with all this feeling. You're not constantly being stimulated with this feeling. Your body's at ease. Can you feel it? Well, yeah, you can feel it, but the feeling's so subtle. It's not pulling you. It's not drawing your attention. When you're super excited, you can feel it a lot. And when you're really angry, you can feel it a lot. It's taking your attention. But when you don't have that stimulation inside your body, it doesn't draw your attention. And now you have your attention back. If this is your attention, you have it now. It's not being directed to your feelings so much. Just like in front of you. If you're on a Vegas strip, you got flashing lights and honks and horns and music and clubs and all this stuff. You're trying to have control of your attention, but it's kind of tough because all these things in front of you is trying to take away your attention. But now you're standing in a park, in a peaceful park with trees and plants. All this stuff is not taking your attention. So now you have your attention here. Now you have the power to direct your attention where you want to go. You want it to go into your mind, then you can have it fully go into your mind in whatever thought you want to have. You want to go here, you want to go there, you want to go into your body, you can go wherever. Or you can have your attention go towards your own attention. You realize yourself just being. But you have the ability to direct it because it's not taking all of your attention away with the outside or inside. But when we are in an emotional high, our attention is so much taken here. And now we don't have our attention in control. And when we're low, same thing. So when we're in that middle state, it will not feel normal. You will feel like you are low, but nothing really is wrong. You're not really angry about anything. At this point, if you start to judge the way you feel and you go, something's kind of wrong. Man, I feel depressed. I don't know why. Like, and then you just keep thinking about it, because you're trying to figure out what's wrong. This is weird. I'm used to feeling high, and right now I'm not feeling high. So I must be feeling low. That makes sense, right? But the judging in itself, that is what will create the problem. Because without the judgment, you become present, your mind is clear, you don't feel anything in your body. Not that you can't feel, but you just don't have any feelings constantly taking your attention. You're just at ease. It's like here's a good example. When you're in a good meditative state, you all know what that feels like. You're sitting there. Your body is calm. Your body is not going pain here, tightness here, uncomfortable here. You're just sitting there, right? No activities going on in your body. You're at ease. That's the same way throughout the day when you're in that middle state. But you're not constantly feeling a whole bunch. At this point, if you judge that and you judge it as bad, you keep thinking, what's the problem? What's the problem? By doing that, you drop your state because your mind is constantly looking for a problem. And then now you get into a low emotional state. And then you go, yep, I found it. That's what it is. I'm in a low emotional state. And then what do? I need to get high. So then you try to look for an activity, you try to do something, you get high. And then now you're in this high, you go, oh man, much better. Whew, man, I was in that low state earlier, but now I'm high. I'm feeling good again. But then you can't maintain the high because you get exhausted. So then naturally your energy drops back down. Damn, I'm back in that low again. Now I'm in this low. I don't have the motivation to do anything. Why? Because you don't have any energy actually, because you drained it all staying high. So then you drop down low and the cycle repeats. So for you guys that are consistent with your practice, you're consistent with meditation. As you start to hit 15 minutes a day, twice a day, you start to hit 20 minutes a day, twice a day, you will experience this, if not experiencing it now already. You will feel like you're kind of low, but you're not really low. You're not angry about anything. Everything's just kind of still. You're just not kind of feeling anything. Just know that this is something that you want to get used to in your body. Your body has to get conditioned to a new way of feeling. And once you get used to this, it will feel more comfortable. As you get used to this, the way to get used to it is to realize that this is normal and that's okay, and not to judge the feeling, not to think something is wrong, because all you do will just create a whole bunch of unnecessary mind activity that will drop you down. Be present. Focus on what you need to focus on. What do you need to do at this moment? Are you working? Go focus on your work. Are you playing? Go focus on your play. Are you resting? Focus on resting. But stop thinking that something is wrong with the way that you are feeling, because you may not be feeling much. Nothing is wrong with the way you're feeling. Okay. Thinking that something is wrong with the way you feel is the actual problem itself, not the way that you feel. It's like a perfect relationship. Woman loves you. I can't say that because we're all men here. But if it was a woman watching this, your man loves you. Everything is great. But then you think that there should be something different. And then by thinking there should be something different, you create a problem. This should be different. Let me think why. Hey, look at this life. Look at this scenario. I want it to be like this. Now we create a problem. But there was no problem. Everything was fine. But we created the problem, and now there's a problem. And now when we feel there's a problem, our emotion drops. We get out of that neutral state. We now become emotional again.